After Sadie explained her conversation with the dog boy, and mentioning they only had one day left, they tried to decide on how they would get to Phoenix. They remembered that Nut had promised them safe air travel, but only as far as Memphis, so further air travel was risky. Plus, they didn't want to risk another big scene like in Washington. Next to that, if news traveled fast, the House of Life might even monitor air travel throughout the country. So they figured a road trip was their only option. After finding an RV to borrow, they raced their way west. Boston and Khufu took turns at the wheel. On the way, Sadie remained silent and kept staring at the feather in her hand. She refused to say a word about her talk with Anubis. But they didn't have time to worry about that. They needed to figure out where they could go to contact Memphis. Boss suggested the Rio Grande in El Paso, Texas, which was thankfully on the way. From what Boss could calculate, at their speed, from New Orleans to Phoenix, would have taken about 24 hours. So, there would be just enough time to stop by the river, summon Memphis, and get Set's secret name. 24 hours, and it would be over. They would stop Set and save Dad, one way or the other. Or everything would have been for nothing. Not just what Carter and Sadie had gone through, but also what their parents had sacrificed too. When they eventually reached El Paso, they had to park the RV and walk because the river was a little ways away from the nearest road. It was about 5 in the afternoon. The sun was going down. They had to hurry. "This should be a good spot," Boss said when they reached the water. "You really think the river goddess will show up here?" Sadie asked her. "Are we even sure she'll be willing to share Set's secret name?" "Yes," Boss answered. "If you want to summon a river goddess, you must do it at the riverbank. It might be best for you to do it, Sadie. Isis and Memphis were sisters, so it's our best bet." So, Sadie reached down and touched the water, making ripples. Hello? Memphis? Anyone home?" Sadie asked. "Well, anything?" Carter asked. "It's very faint," Sadie said. "Just a few words. Caged, no, sheltered, in sleeping house?" Khufu had just hissed randomly at the water, and Carter seemed to be the only one to notice. Then, he just noticed the water was becoming slightly turbulent, and it wasn't coming from Sadie. Guys? Carter hesitated. Then he heard Horace's voice call out, "Carter, get out of the way!" Boom! Carter backed away just as a gigantic body burst out of the surface. He dropped his jaw as they all stared up high at the horrified face of a giant crocodile man? Sobek, guardian of rivers. He was even bigger than the RV and was dressed in gold armor. His teeth looked as sharp as kitchen knives. "Horace!" he roared. "That form does not suit you, Falcon God. I shall snap it in half." "Whatever you do, don't let him snatch you up, or he'll pull you into the water and drown you," Horace warned. Only then, Carter just noticed Sadie was lying flat on the ground, unconscious. Her head was covered in blood. She must have gotten hit by Sobek's huge head when he popped out of the water. "Sobek, you traitor!" Boss yelled. "Your duty is to the king!" "What king?" Sobek argued. "Ra is gone. Osiris is dead again. Horus as weak as you can see. Set offers power. He offers fresh meat. And I think I'll start with godling flesh." He was about to bring his fist right down on Carter, but then Boss blocked it with her mystic avatar. "Carter, get Sadie out of here," she warned. "If I don't come back, tell your father I kept my promise, and tell Sadie I am sorry." The scene was like a wrestling match, and Boss started hammering the croc into the ground. Just when it seemed like she was about to finish him, Sobek found a chance to pull Boss into the water. For at least a minute, there was silence. Then, something small rocketed out of the water. Muffin the cat landed on her feet right in front of them. One good long look into those cat's eyes, and Carter realized the cat goddess was no more. Sadie couldn't remember falling asleep. In fact, she couldn't remember when they traveled as far as the desert. But now, She was in bot form again, and for some reason, she was a giant. She was standing right next to where her friends made camp. She wondered how they couldn't see her. And then, she noticed Amos was with them. Not only that, but there was no sign of Bost anywhere. That couldn't have been a good sign. Then, she just noticed a few inches away, the ground seemed to shift, making shapes until Sadie could see what looked like a man's face in the ground. Sadie had the feeling she was the only one who could see it. "Hello, Sadie Kane," the face said. "I've been waiting for you." "Wait, are you the Earth God?" Sadie asked. "Yes," he answered, "I am. Geb, father of the Earth." Sadie almost forgot about Nut's message she was asked to give him. She searched her pockets and found the same envelope. "Your wife asked me to give you this," she told him, "and she said she misses you." He reached out to take the envelope, opened it, and instead of a letter, fireworks burst out. A new constellation formed in the night sky above them, the face of Nut formed by hundreds of stars. My beloved really knows how to warm my heart with her gifts," Geb said. "Thank you, Sadie Kane. I shall award you greatly. Ask me a favor the Earth can grant, and it shall be yours." "Then can you save my dad, please?" she said immediately. What a faithful daughter," he said. "Isis can learn from you. Alas, it cannot be done, for your father's path is entwined with Osiris." "Then can you destroy Set's pyramid?" she asked. "I cannot interfere much with my own children. After all, Set is my son too." "Well, then what can you do to help?" Sadie asked in frustration. "Perhaps some advice to achieve your desires," he suggested. "Go to the town called Las Cruces. It may be dangerous, but you will also find what you need the most." "What? What do I need?" she asked. "What is it?" But the Earth God said no more, and sank back into the ground. Then Sadie woke up in her uncle's lap. "Amos?" she exclaimed. "You're all right! How did you get away?" "I'm so sorry, Sadie," he said. "I was such a fool to go off and leave you two like that. I underestimated Set. He's dangerous with or without the pyramid. But he'll only get stronger once the pyramid's complete." "Did you find out where Dad was?" Sadie asked. "Is he alive?" "I overheard demons talking," he answered. "Osiris is kept in the pyramid. I think they're planning to channel his power to create a storm surrounding the mountain as their way to protect it and keep people away. But I fear they'll suck him dry until there's nothing left, and I think that includes your father. As for me, well, this might not make any sense, but I managed to run, and no one tried to stop me. He simply let me go. It must have been a test, or maybe he thought I might come back with you two. I can't be certain. Who knows if he's watching my every move right now. I doubt I can even trust myself. I just knew for sure I just had to find you both again before he or the house did. My only regret is that I didn't find you sooner." Then Muffin the cat walked up to Sadie's lap. "Sadie," Carter hesitated, "when you got knocked out, we were attacked, and—" He didn't have to finish. Sadie took one look into those cat's eyes, and for once she felt an unfamiliar presence. "No, no, no, she can't be. She's a goddess. She can't be gone." "She's not gone forever, Sadie," Amos said. "Gods intend to find another new host in another lifetime or so." "No, I can't wait that long," Sadie whimpered. "I want it back now." She wept in her uncle's arms. Then Carter put a hand on her shoulder and they locked eyes. They silently agreed that they could not lose anyone else. They definitely couldn't make it seem like Boss died for nothing, any more than her mother did. They could not afford to lose. "Where are we, anyway?" she asked. "Are we back in Egypt?" "The white sands of New Mexico, actually," Amos said. We shouldn't be too far from Arizona now. Sadie then explained her conversation with Geb. But Amos warned that traveling through civilization any further would be risky. It'd make it easier for the House of Light to track them. But then Sadie mentioned how Las Cruces was Spanish for the crosses. That has to be a hint, right? She asked. So, Amos, Carter, and Sadie hopped into the boat while Khufu and Muffin were magically transported back to Brooklyn. Amos tapped the bow, and the boat flew into the air, heading west. Once they got to Las Cruces, they parked the boat on the south side of town. They decided if they were going to fight Set, they might as well not have done it on an empty stomach, so they tried to find a local restaurant. It didn't take them too long before they just picked the nearest one, just a small taco place where no one else entered. Just minutes after they got what they ordered and started chewing away, another familiar face stepped inside and walked up to them. "Zia Rashid," Amos said. "It's been a while, hasn't it? I see Iskandar sent his best." She looked at him like he smacked her in the face. Amos," Carter said. "You probably hadn't heard, but Iskandar's dead." "Really?" he asked. "So then that only means the chief lector now is Desjardins," Carter said. "Well, that's unsettling," Amos said. "I know he's not exactly the most likable person," Zia argued, "but he is reliable and powerful. You'll need his help if you want to defeat Set." "Seriously?" Sadie asked. "Has it ever occurred to you that maybe he's trying to stop us as a way to help Set? Others may betray the house and try to do that, but he wouldn't dare," Zia said. "Zia, please," said Carter. "He wants to kill us. Plus, he was there at the museum when Set got freed. If Set needed a body..." The tip of Zia's staff lit up like a candle. "Whoa, easy now," Amos said. "We can talk this through, okay?" "But I think you may have a point, Carter. If I know Desjardins, he was never really one for listening to reason." "Please," Zia begged. "I only came here to tell you he's offering you a chance to explain yourselves. Also, Carter, there's something you need to know. The front door swung open, and there was Desjardins with 2 henchmen on either side of him. "It's a trap," Amos exclaimed. "Amos Kane," Desjardins shouted. "It's been a while, Michelle," Amos said. "Seriously?" Sadie said. "His first name's Michelle? No wonder he's so pissed all the time." "Carter, Sadie, get back to the boat," Amos commanded. "Head for the pyramid." "What about you?" Sadie asked. "I promise I'll meet you there," Amos promised. "Now go." Michelle's henchmen were chanting spells, but Amos knocked them off their feet by pounding his staff on the ground. "Master, please," Zia begged. "This isn't what Iskandar would have wanted." "Iskandar is dead," Desjardins growled. "Now step out of his way." "The only way to stop Set is if we work together," said Zia. But he didn't listen, and pounded his staff, making the building shake, but Amos protected them with a shield spell. "Carter, Sadie, go on, get out of here," Amos told them. "You too, Zia." Carter was feeling pretty thankful to hear he included Zia. The 3 kids ran through the kitchen and out the back of the building. They hopped into the boat, Zia cast the right spell, and up they went. "Carter, we can't just leave him alone back there," Sadie panicked. "I can't lose anyone else." "Don't worry," Carter said. "He's just giving us time. He'll be fine. I'm sure he'll catch up. If he can escape Set, then I'm sure he shouldn't have too much trouble with a couple of human magicians." Then, they heard a loud roar in the distance. Zia pointed down at the town below. What looked like a flying giant with a lion's head was heading right for them. It was Sekhmet, Master of War. Zia casted a huge pillar of fire, but it didn't put a scratch on the cat. Zia collapsed completely, drained of energy.